That gay boy that you punched the other day, he committed suicide 2 hours ago. That little girl you called a slut because she's pregnant, she was raped. That boy you called lame, he's got to go after school to work to help support his family. The girl you pushed down the other day in the hallway, she's already being abused at home. That old man that you made fun of because he had scars on his face, he fought for our country. That boy you made fun of for crying the other day, his mom's dying of cancer. It's not always what it seems, you guys. It's not always what's on the surface. We judge a book by its cover. Take 1 second to stop and actually look at the person you're talking to. Not look at them, look into them. Invest time in them. Well, to date, I've done 54 feature films. I've done over 400 regional and local commercials and national. I've been in 186 staged productions, and I've been on 2 network series. I'd say I've had a pretty good life. See, what happens is we all judge a book by its cover. I've just painted a beautiful picture of my life. I told you all the great stuff that happened. Would you guys all agree that if I say most of us, not everybody in the room, but most of us judge a book by its cover? Well, let me just paint a real quick picture for you and ask you guys what it is, just to prove my theory here. If I have a gentleman come from behind this curtain and he's pushing a grocery cart, and inside this grocery cart has got all kinds of stuff, right? One man's garbage is another man's treasure, right? So we'll just call it stuff for now. And he's got a boot on one foot, and he's got a flip-flop on the other. He's got a jacket down to his knees, and he's got pants that got holes in it, and underneath the pants you see a pair of sweatpants and a ripped-up sweater. What have I just described? A hobo or a bum, right? See, and I've given you guys a lot of the information of how I wanted you guys to see me right now, right? But it's amazing how when things change, when I took my jacket off, a lot of your facial expressions changed because you saw a full sleeve of a tattoo. You know, we judge a book by its cover. I've had a pretty awesome life. I left out a couple of things that I want to rewind to and talk to you guys about, just so you guys can get the full picture. I watched him take the gun up, and he's there, and I'm right here. Takes the gun up to the corner of his jaw, pulls the trigger, and the next thing I know, I'm wearing half of my best friend. That was my sweet 16th birthday party. He was different. That he didn't belong in any of these groups because he was just him. He was misunderstood. It was all a cry for help for him, and nobody was there to help him. So he wanted out, and that was his out. Got quiet again because, again, we were talking about how happy things were for me, and I was on a television show, and I made all this money. But now I bring it back to reality. Even though that was my reality, this was the rest of my reality. My dad, you guys will find out that my daddy, my best friend in the entire world, he taught me how to look at someone and see the good in everybody. Because there's good in everybody. But all it takes is to find that good in someone that you don't think is good, is it takes one person to just stop and just ask, hey, how you doing today? And mean it. You do matter. You are important. Somebody does love you. You are beautiful. Because my kids are growing up too. And when they get into the real world, like you guys are going to get into it one day, I want them to have respect. Not just for themselves, but for others. But it's got to start within. And I keep coming back to that, you guys. It's got to start within. You've got to be able to look at yourself and say, I am beautiful. And that does not mean you go in front of the mirror and you're like, oh my God. I am beautiful. No, not like that. I'm talking, look inside yourself and see that you are truly beautiful. And that is my job. If I get to one person, if I get to one, then I've done my job, because now Rebecca's going to take that and she's going to help somebody. And then that person's going to help somebody. and then that person. It's called the domino effect. It's not just bullying, because it doesn't just stop with bullying. It starts with respect. Respect yourself, and we have no bullying issue. If you see somebody that's being treated wrong, instead of turning a blind eye to it, stop and recognize it and be like, dude, what are you doing? And I don't want to just say it's the dudes that are bullying, because dudes, we're physical. Right? We're physical. Girls, y'all are wicked, nasty, verbal. You guys are truly priceless. You guys are beautiful. And I'm not saying that to you to make you guys feel good. I'm not trying to pat you on the back and say, attaboy, good girl. That's not my job. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm merely someone that's looking at you from an outsider's perspective and saying, you know what, kid? You are beautiful. And you guys, no matter what they say to you, you are truly priceless. So you've heard nothing more today. It starts with you. Respect yourself. There comes a responsibility with those bracelets. And the responsibility is that if you guys take one, which you're all more than welcome to have one, that when you wear it, before you go saying something nasty to your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your mother, your father, your grandparent, your best friend, your teacher, etc., stop for 1 second and think. Think of the repercussions of what you're getting ready to say. Because words cut, y'all. They cut deeper than knives. You can't take them back. You truly can't.